Good afternoon, everybody. Iain from Ranking the Obscure here. Hope everyone's well on this Friday. Kind of a show that I'm not looking forward to doing, not because I don't like the band. It's getting the pronunciation right. I'm talking about the German metal rock industrial band called Rammstein. I've got to get my mouth around these titles, especially when one of my subscribers comes from Germany, so I do apologise, mate, if I get these wrong, but I'll do my very best. Okay then, so they were formed in 1994. They're all around from Berlin. I think some of them actually lived in the old East Germany and played in punk bands. The lineup has been the same from day one. So you've got Till Lindemann on vocals, Richard Krups on rhythm guitar, Paul Landers on guitars, Oliver Riddell on the bass, Christoph Schneider on drums, and Christian Lorenz on keyboards. The way they do things apparently is that the band write all the songs and then Tim Lindemann writes the lyrics after he's heard the music. So it's a different way of doing it. They've released 7 albums. All of them are very good. Some of them have got some tracks that a little bit I'll go into that. Well, I'm not going to go into too much. I've been able to find the English translation to some of the most of their songs, so some of the translation is quite funny. So here we go. This is my best German. So we're going to start at number 7, and it's their 1995 debut album, Herzeleid, which means heartache. Good album, good debut album this was. It's got some interesting tracks on here, so let's go through them. First track is Volt aus der Brett fremmen Schen. I hope that's right, which actually means do you want to see the bed in flames? Nice title. It's got a driving guitar start, drums come in. It's just an awesome track. Bass line's great. Tin's singing is just unbelievable. I don't think if you sang it in English it would have the same effect, but this is why they're so popular. I think, you know, those German bands singing in German and they are worldwide famous. Great stuff. Second track is Der Meister, the Master. Again, lots of heavy guitar in this. It's more speed metal, but it's German lyrics again that just make it fantastic. Third track is Flesh, White Flesh. Not as heavy. It's not one of the heavier tracks on there, but it's got an interesting riff. Good track, solid. Then we get Ash Jesus Ash, which is Ashes to Ashes. This is an unusual track. It's got a mixture of drum and drum machine, so it's different, but when you get the drum machine and the heavy riff, it works. It's very interesting arrangement and a really good song. Then we get one called Seaman, which is just translated as sailor. Not the best track. There's one thing about Tin's vocal. It's not suited, unfortunately, to the softer songs. I just think he hasn't got the vocal range to cope with it. This one's okay because it sort of goes a slow bit and then goes into a heavier bit, and it sort of redeems itself. Now the next song, Du riechst so gut. I love the translation. You smell so good. cracking name of a track. This is a bit of a dancey start with a drum machine and keyboards. It's okay, it works. Not my favourite track on the album. Coming in at the next one, number 7 on the album, is Das alte Lied, the old sorrow. Great track, solid, just what you need. Heavy sounding track. Then we get Herzeleid mich, marry me. Great riffs in this, and the keyboard structure just adds some atmosphere to this song. It is really, really good. Then we get the title track, Herzeleid, Heartache. Great metal track this is. Awesome, pure metal. That's all I can say about that. Great vocal, if we knew what he was singing about, but it's still a great track. Then the next track is Reise, Spawning Time. Yes, that's interesting. It's a bit of a dancey track, but the vocals are a little bit weak in places. And it ends up with a self-titled track called Rammstein. Best track on the album as well. Great driving riffs. It's got hints of Black Sabbath in this, so it is a terrific song. Not a bad debut at all, but what lets it down is the slower tracks and the not so good vocal. Okay then, coming in at number 6 is the 5th album from 2005, Rosenrot. Basically means rose red. This is a solid album. Good stuff on it. First track, Benzene. Gasoline. Interesting start. It's got quite a techno beat to it, but it builds up into this awesome metal track, and I love it. Great way to open an album. Second track is Man gegen Man, Man Against Man. I do apologise for my bad German. Great bass line to this. It really does drive this track, and it goes into that typical Rammstein riff. Terrific song. Then we get the title track, Rosenrot, or something like that. This is an awesome track. It's got another great deep bass line that sort of drives this song, and everything goes around it. Then we get Spring, which means jump for some reason. This has got an eerie vocal from Tin. I think it's because it is in German, that's what makes it so eerie. Great track though. Great performance from the band. Then we get a track called Wo bist du? Where are you? Flutes in this. Well, it sounds like a flute, could be on the keyboard. And then boom, Heavy as you like. Great track. Techno in places, but it's Tin Lindemann's vocals that actually make this song fantastic. Then we get a track called Schreib nicht von mir. Don't Lie Before I Do. This actually features Charlene Spiretti from Texas. Interesting song because Tin Lindemann sings in German. Not brute verse because it's quite slow, but Charlene is fantastic on this. Sings in English, and it does it's not a bad track actually. Forgive Tin for his lack of range, but it's a really good track. Next track is Zerstören, Destroy. Drumming is great on this, and it's like this Bollywood Indian lady vocalist. Then you get these heavy, dirty riffs that I love. Coming in is great track. Then we get another slower track called Hilf mir, help me. This is a slower track, but actually Tin Lindemann sounds really good on this. I think it helps that it's got a great bass line that he hooks into. Terrific song. And we get an interesting one. It's called Te Cura Puta, which Translate of, and I do apologise, I Love You Whore. This is a great track though. It's got Spanish trumpet. It features a woman called Carmen Zapata who sings on it, backing vocal. Forget what it translates as, but it's just a great track. He got this mixture of traditional Olay Spanish music with a dirty, great big heavy metal riff. Terrific song. Then we get an interesting one again. Feu and Wasser, Fire and Water. It's quite slow, but what makes this good? Tin actually, it's more spoken than singing, and he's got such a voice. It makes it so eerie. Really, really good. Then it ends up with a song called Herzeleid, and it's just kind of song, slower, great arrangement, but the vocal again is a little bit weak. But on the whole, a very good album. So we can move on to number 5. It's the 6th album from 2009. I've got to get this right. Libra Est Frey, alle, I hope. And that just translates, love is there for everyone. Another good album, some solid tracks on this. Starts off with one called Rammstein, Ram Song. It's got one of the most dramatic starts of an song that I've ever heard. It's got some swirling keyboards, choral, and then Tin starts singing into choral, and then the band comes in with them really great drums that they seem to get, brilliant riffs, and it turns into an absolute belter of a song. Then we get Ich dir Weh, I Hurt You, solid track. It just does what it says on the tin again. It's solid, it's heavy, it's catchy, it's everything that you expect from a Rammstein song. Next track is Weidmann's Hill. Again, my German is atrocious. Huntsman's Salute. To start this song, we get a nice trumpet fanfare, and then that unique way of Rammstein doing their stuff, and you get this driving bass line, and then you get these short little riffs. Terrific song. Then we get a track called Hafish, which apparently translates as shark. Bit different this is to the rest of the album, but it is a good track. Can't beat a track like that. I like these bands that do something a little bit different, and when Rammstein do it, they seem to pull it off. Next track, it's called Stabu. It's a word that's been made up by the band, and they say it to mean whatever the listener wants it to mean. This is very dark. Got a driving bass line again. It's almost death metal, but not as fast as death metal, if you get what I'm saying. Really good song though, love it. Then we get Feeling in Paris, Springtime in Paris. Again, one of them acoustic songs that poor old Tin just can't get his lungs round, I'm afraid. He's a terrific singer and a great performer, but he can't do the slower stuff. Then we get Venice Blood. This is another good heavy track, and Tin's all over this. Great vocal. Then we get a track, there's no translation for this, but it's just called Pussy. The start, it reminds me of Enola Gay by Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark, but then it goes into a Rammstein ripper. Tin actually sings a bit of English in this, but they're quite rude, so I'm not going to go into that. If you want to find out what he actually says, and it's quite, bit close to the bone, as they say. Go and listen to it on YouTube or Spotify, because I'm sure it'll be on there. Okay, next track is the title track, Libra Est Frey, is a love for everyone. Great metal track this is, and when I first heard this, I could imagine Rob Halford singing this, because it would have suited his voice a treat. It's proper heavy metal. Then we get a track called More. This is techno meets metal. It's good. Then we get a track called Rote Sand, which means red sand. It's an okay track. Again, it's got that. It's a bit slower, so the lyric vocal is not on top form. And then we get this is like an extended version that I managed to get hold of. It's got a track called Für mich, Lead Me. This is bass driven. Song is great solid track. Then you got Don Kinder, Children of the Danube. Awesome track. Great guitar solo in this. Again, there's not many guitar solos on these albums. When they are absolutely brilliant. Then we get a song called Halt. Well, we all know what that means. The vocal on this is terrific. It just makes the sound, the way that the German language is. I mean, I love the German language. It's so passionate. But this song is terrific. Then you get an orchestral version of Rote Sand. The arrangement's good, but the singing again. And then you get Lise. It's female's first name. That's what it. That's not very good at all. Bit of a filler. Okay then, coming in at number 4 is the second album from 1997, Zenjud Jizaya. This, again, solid album. This is the first album I ever heard by Rammstein. Although it's not my favourite, it's still got a special place in my heart. First track is the title track, Sehnsucht, Desire. This has got this Middle Eastern start. That Middle Eastern feel to it. Then goes straight into one of them real driving riffs. Then you get a techno keyboard that sounds Middle Eastern, and then you got a deep vocal from Tin, and then you get in his rolling his arse something chronic in this song. It's absolutely brilliant. Then the second track on the album, Angel, featuring a Bobo, who's from a German band called White Wooden Horses. She sounds a little bit like Kate Bush. It's got some driving riffs in this, and it sounds like I don't know if it's someone whistling or a keyboard sound that whistling. It's another sort of techno track, but it works very well, and it helps with these driving metal riffs that sort of go around the techno sounding keyboard. Terrific stuff. Then we get Tia, Animal, another solid ripper from the band. You just can't get any better than that. Then we get Bestraf mich, Punish Me. Great keyboard on this. This keyboard player, Christian Lorenz, is terrific. And the keyboard to this actually gives it that extra oomph that really makes this track stand out. Then we have the most famous track, I'd say, from this band, Du hast, which is translated as You Have. This is the first song I ever heard by Rammstein. It totally blew me away. I just like that heavy beat, the drumming in it, the vocal. This song though is terrific live, and in my playlist I've actually put the live version from Paris, which is absolutely stonking. Check that out because it's a really good performance. Next track, Boch dich, means bend over. Yes, some really interesting songs on this. This is a very industrial sounding song, but it's got a corker bass line, terrific song. Then we get a track called Spel mit mir, which translate with, and again I do apologise, play with me, but forget the title and what it means in English. This has got a real heavy start, then goes into a bit of techno sort, then the heavy comes back in, but the riffs give this that rock feel. So I'm not a great lover of techno music, but this, you know, it actually works with the metal sound as well. Then we have a track called Claver, piano, and it's one of them slow songs that just doesn't work with tin vocal. But what redeems this is this on the chorus there's some really heavy stuff, so he sort of redeems himself. Then we got Alter Man, Old Man. It's another of those techno meets metal tracks, another good track like it. Then we get Eifersucht, well, bad German again, Jealousy, a solid track on the album, really heavy riffs in this. Then we get Kussmush, Kiss Me. Great sounding riffs in this and a thumping bass line, and it ends up on the one of the other next song called Stripped. He sings this in English. Yeah, the words are not very yeah, I'm not going to say too much because it's a bit creepy. Also on here you get English versions of Angel. It's not bad, and you also get Du Hast with the English lyrics. Unfortunately, I prefer the German because the English lyrics just don't make any sense for the song. But on the whole, it is a great album. First one I ever heard, and I do love it to bits. Okay, then coming in at number 3 is Mutter. Mutter, third album from 2001. This is a quality album. Opens up with Mein Herz brennt, My Heart Burns, storming track. Great, really good guitar work on this, and the keyboards are good. Then we get Link 234, Left 234, bit of a marching sort of song. Then you get Son, another solid track. All these songs are just solid all the way through. You know, you have to play from start to finish. And then we get Ich will, I want, another good track. And then we get my favourite, Für Fire, Fire at Will. Absolute belter. Then we get the title track, Mutter, Mother. Nothing like Pink Floyd's, but a storming track. And then we get Spear, Music Box, another solid track. And then we get Zvita, Hermaphrodite. I can't pronounce these words, I'm terrible. That's solid track. Then we get Rain Rose, In Out, another solid track. Adios Goodbye, that's alright. Not my favourite on the album. Then we get Nebel Fog. Good way to end the album. On the whole, a really good album. Coming in at number 2 is Reise, which is a military wake-up call, literally meaning arise, arise. First track is the title track. It's one of those prog metal classic openings. Guitars, drums, keyboards, terrific. Then we get my part, dramatic start again. You get more techno keyboards in this and then back to them heavy riffs. Great track. Third track is called Dalai Lama. This is very eerie sounding. Got some great industrial keyboards on this and some nice gentle riffs, and Tin's voice really works on this. So you know, he does try, and he's now and again he gets it right. The next track, Iain Lust, No Desire. The keyboards on this again give it just that extra layer that it needs. I think without the keyboards it'd be pretty ordinary, but the keyboard work on this is terrific. Next track, Less. Another bass driven song. Tin's vocal is great, but I've got some nice guitar work. I think there's a harmonica in there and a bit of acoustic guitar as well. Let me get America. This has got a really cheesy chorus, and it's basically saying about it's good in America, wunderbar. Yeah, but it's a solid track. Forget what the America wunderbar, great track. Then we get a track called Moscow, which obviously means Moscow, and it features a Russian speaking girl from Estonia called Victoria Fish. This is a great song, my favourite on the album actually. It's heavy metal meets traditional Russian music, and again it works. I like these fusions of traditional music thrown in with heavy metal. Then we get a track called Morgenstern, Morning Star, storming track. Fast, heavy, everything you need. Then we get Stein, Stein, Stone by Stone. Again, unfortunately, it's one of them slow songs where the vocals are a little bit weak. Then we get On Dich, Without You. Although this is a slow song, Tin's vocals are really good on this. Then it ends up with Amour, which is love. And this is a slow track, but this time it's spoken word, which sounds really good. Because it's again, it's the words, the German language, it just makes this song got so much feel. Good way to end the album. So what's my number one? And for the first time in my rankings, I'm going with their current album, which is Untitled. It came out in 2017, and it was their first studio album in 10 years. This, to me, is all the other albums are fantastic, but this, they've got everything spot on. It's got dancey, techno, metal and slow songs, that everything works on this, and to me it is the perfect Rammstein album. Hence why it's number one for me, because they've learned their graft, that they've brought out solid albums, and this is like the pinnacle. So it starts with a song called Deutschland. We don't need to translate that. This has got some great techno keyboard. I don't mind techno keyboard if it sounds good. And then you've got the heavy riffs again. Now, listening to this album as well, I don't know if Muse are trying to get that sound like Rammstein, if they're trying to copy, because there's a lot of it on this actual track. There's a lot of things that appear in Muse, some of the Muse's later stuff, but this is a great track. Then we got Radio, another techno start again, but then this is superb riff, and it works round this techno keyboard sound that Christian Lenz gets. It's just terrific. Very, very well done. Very well produced song. Absolutely brilliant song. Then we get Zig Dich, Show Yourself. This is a choral start. Very dramatic. And then the drums and the guitars, it just keeps building, building and building, layer after layer, until you get this storming track. It's second best track on the album. Terrific song. Then we got Australander, Outlander, meaning foreigner, whatever. This is just what I found. This is a bit dancey to start with, and you go, oh, this is good. But then again, it comes in with some typical Rammstein riffs. It just lifts it to another level. Great, great track. Then we get a track called Sex. Yes, this has got a very catchy melody. It sounds a bit like Muse's Uprising, but a really good song. I mean, I like the song Uprising, so see, I don't know who copied who on that, but it works. Both songs are great. Then we get a track called Boop Puppet. This is quite a slow song, but Tin's vocal seems to have changed because he's all over this one. This is probably his best vocal on a slow track ever. I don't know if the 10 years has made his voice more mature, but he's absolutely nailed it on that. It's a great song. Then we get Was ich lieb, What I Love. Great drum start to this. And it's one of them again that's spoken word, and it just builds and builds into a driving riff. And then we go back to that drum and bass and the spoken word of Tin. Terrific track. Then we get Diamant, another slow track, but again, Tin sounds terrific on this. You know, he's really worked hard, and you know, this is why this album is actually, I'd say, they're all round, because he can nail these slower songs now. Then we get Weit Weg, Far Away. Love the keyboards in this. It's a very 70s sounding keyboard. It could be a number of 70s keyboard players. John Lord, Rick Wakeman, Ken Hemsley. It's all in that sort of vein. Second favourite song ever to do us. This is terrific song. I really love this. Then we get Tattoo. Good solid prog metal song this is. You know, it does everything you want from good prog metal. Then the last track is Hello Man Announcer. The bass in this is just, this has got the best bass line in any Rammstein out song. It just moves this song along, and everyone else sort of plays around this bass line, even the vocals. Great track. So that's why it is my number one. It's an accomplished album, and it was well received. So apart from all my really bad German, I hope you enjoyed it. Go and check out the live version of Du Hast, because there's one thing, their shows are fantastic. It's pyrotechnics. Makes Kiss makes Kiss shows look a bit lame. Okay, well, we'll be back later with another album ranking review. So for now, I will say ta-ta or auf Wiedersehen, and I hope I didn't upset my German subscriber. I did my best though. Take care for now.